So let me get this straight. No drop in fatigue styled crashes. But somehow, someone wants us to believe that the billions spent was money well spent. Who's buying that? Folks, before I dive into this headline I'm talking about tonight, I figured I'd take a walk back in history books for just a few minutes, kind of remind you what set the stage for what I'm about to talk about. Back in 2012, Congress passed something you may or may not know about called MAP 21. It came to be understood it meant moving ahead for progress in the 21st century, which basically mandated the use of electronic logging devices under the big promise of safer highways and stricter compliance with hours of service rules. Now, fast forward all the way to December of 2017, and it was in full swing. In that short 5 year period of time, Washington's digital leash fastened onto the dashboards of nearly every trucker in this country. What did they boast? A whopping 50% drop in hours of service violations. Sounds good on paper, doesn't it? So the question is, was this about public safety or was it control? Well, buckle up, guys, because we're about to go into the belly of the beast. And we're going to show you that what I put on the thumbnail is exactly what it is. You are in the right place because this is not corporate mainstream spin. This is trucker truth. Served hot, served hungry, and ready to go. Hammer down. The road to clarity starts right now. Greetings to you, truck lovers and truth seekers. Appreciate you joining me tonight. I'm Boss Man, the Commander-in-Chief of the Truth in Broadcasting Network from the esteemed institute I call the Collaborative Think Tank for Advanced Trucking Journalism. I take media spin, stop it cold, and give you the dose of common sense they can't find. If you like this kind of news, go down below and become a subscriber. I'm about to give you a dose of the common sense highway. On one side, we have the American Trucking Association, the voice of the big rigs, championing the electronic logging device mandate. They argue that since ELDs' inception in 2017, violations of hours of service have plummeted by more than 50%. To them, ELDs are the digital guardians of ensuring the roads remain safe and our drivers remain compliant. Opposing them, on the opposite corner of the ring, is the Owner-Operators Independent Drivers Association, the stalwart defenders of the independent trucker. They contend ELDs, while reducing hours of service violations, have not demonstrably improved safety or reduced fatigue-related crashes. Moreover, they highlight the $1.8 billion burden these devices have placed on small businesses have been nothing but a boondoggle. The OIDA isn't just voicing concerns, they're proposing solutions. They suggest exemptions for small carriers with proven safety records and call for stricter oversight of ELD manufacturers to prevent malfunctioning devices from compromising safety. This debate underscores a broader tension, a balance between regulation and independence. As the Department of Transportation considers these perspectives, the future of ELDs hangs in the balance. We'll find out in June, but I have an opinion. Stick around to hear it. I know I'm not alone in this. Comment down below and tell me if you think the whole premise behind ELDs needs to be re-examined. And let's cut to the chase. We've got a situation where one side of this freight yard says ELDs are the almighty and greatest solution. But hours of service being tracked with NASA level precision. But here's the question should stop everything from bumper to bumper. If safety hasn't significantly improved, what exactly are we paying billions for? Think about it. You've got the mom and pop outfits hemorrhaging cash to try to stay compliant, spending money they should be using on things like tires, maintenance, other issues related to operational necessities. And yet, despite all this shiny new tech blinking on the dash, we're still dealing with the same number of fatigue-related crashes. The one thing they chased hasn't changed. And here's another loaded one for you. Are we building a safer industry, or are we just building one that's more surveilled? See, I'll leave the link down below, but the article I'm referring to is a FreightWaves article. While it points out some obvious facts, it doesn't care to ask who's really benefiting from the rules. It's not the owner-operator. We certainly aren't benefiting at all. It's not the family fleet trying to stay afloat in a sea of red tape. No, it's the corporate giants who can absorb the cost and adjust the narrative. Now, I'm not saying throw the rule book out the window, and I'm not saying we should just start over. What I am saying is that we've got to start asking smarter questions. Start with this one. If the safety numbers haven't changed, maybe, just maybe, are we measuring the wrong thing? I want to hear from you. Let me know. Do you think we could be measuring it in a different way? And if you're really passionate about this conversation, join us on the next front lines. Call in our studio line and become part of the solution. Too many people nowadays sit on the fence and say nothing. Don't be one of them. Guys, this is how change begins. You make change by stating the change. You figure it out, you make it public, and you act the part. So if this really needs to be highlighted, discussed, and changed, this channel is where you go to do it. So down below, like this show, become a subscriber, and believe you me, the louder your voice gets, the more often I'll be here to hear it. It's the trucks that make the deliveries, but it's you that make the difference. Even with ELDs in mind, keep that clock clicking, keep them miles ticking, and don't forget to keep it rolling.